Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Max Report here on this Sunday night. We have Mr. Sam Greer here. Can't thank you enough for being on, sir. How you doing on this Sunday?
I'm great. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You're a Buckeye commit. You're already there, already doing things in the locker room. Big things coming, and we'll dive into that most certainly. But Sam, we want to get to know you a little bit more. Have you always been in the Akron area, and have
Yeah.
you always been like Ohio?
Yeah. So I grew up in like the Hartville / Uniontown area, in Ohio, and my whole family pretty much went to Archbishop Hoban. So went K to eighth at Lake High School, and then or Lake middle school, and then I went to high school at Archbishop Hoban in Akron. And that's where I spent my time. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm from the Dayton area myself, specifically Miamisburg. So I've been up to Columbus and Akron a few times for different things like that, especially in my Marine Corps time. Always traveling, always got friends up north. So very familiar with the area.
Yeah.
And like I said, like we touched on, Ohio State commit already there. Where'd your love for the game start? Did it start at a young age, or did it something you kind of had to warm up to, or being from almost the Columbus and up north area, has football just always been a love?
Yeah, I've always loved football. My community, we had it started in second grade, tackle football. So that's when I first started. I had a older brother who he started in third grade. He's 2 years older than me. So, I'd grown up watching him play a little bit and wanted to go do the same thing. So I love started at a very young age.
That's great to hear. We started in Pee Wee myself very many moons ago.
Mm.
Always fun. I grew up a triplet, so
That's awesome.
I didn't have any older brother. Yeah, all boys.
Yeah.
So I'm all about the rough housing and physicality, things of that nature.
Oh, yeah.
But 6'7". When did you kind of hit that? And this is just kind of off topic a little bit. When did you hit that growth spurt? Was it Pee Wee were you always the biggest one, or did it just kind of happen when you got older?
You look back at pictures of me, I look like, Buddy the Elf. I was always the big guy, just way taller than everybody. Actually, I have a twin sister, so we were always like the, two tallest people, for a while until, she finally caught up. Everyone caught up to her, but, I'm still a bit ahead of everybody.
A twin sister. That is awesome.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You guys always been kind of close in height, or?
Yeah. So we were at a young age, we were always about the same height and stuff. But she's 5'7" now. She was actually just down this weekend visiting me here in Columbus, so it's great to see her.
Hey, that's great to hear. Family is everything. I can attest to that. Spent a long time away. So kind of, you go through Pee Wee, you're kind of the Buddy the Elf, the bigger than everybody. I'm sure people are asking for your birth certificate depending on the game. I've coached some where I'm on the other line, like, there's no way this guy's killing us. But what middle school is it? Because I know I used to coach in an altar system that was known as SDK, that was separate but kind of the same before they got to the high school. It has always been kind of linked. Where'd you play middle school ball?
Yeah, so it's like Lake Middle High School. So it's all connected. And I grew, it's Lake Elementary, middle school, and high school. Yeah.
And what was that like going through grade school, hitting that middle school level? Kind of take me through that seventh grade year.
Yeah, so middle school was a ton of fun. I had a couple big decisions to make even in middle school. So I was either continue to keep playing for my community school, or there's a different kind of league. It's called Akron Armor, and they played teams across the state and even some couple national games. So I decided to stick with my buddies, play at Lake, and because I knew I was going to go to a different high school than them, so I wanted to enjoy as much time as I could with them in middle school. So had a lot of fun in middle school, and then made a decision to go to Hoban for high school.
Very nice. Have you always stayed on the offensive side of the ball, or have you been kind of a swing player?
Yeah, so growing up, I was always, O-line, D-line, always, too big or heavy to run the ball and all that, and like had the rules against people run the ball. So, but in eighth grade, they didn't have that rule anymore, so I was allowed to play a little bit of running back, receiver, D line, O line, pretty much played it all.
And then when you get to high school, your freshman year, did you kind of settle into the line, or was it still kind of up there? Take me through your freshman year.
Yeah, freshman year, I played with the freshman team the whole year. I mainly O line, but they'd use me at D line sometimes, and had my season cut a little bit short due to a back injury. But I was able to dress for most of varsity games and get experience of that my freshman year. They made it to states my freshman year, ended up losing. But freshman year was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed it.
That's what it's all about. And a back injury, I've had coached a few athletes where the back injury definitely came up, and that's rough. Yeah. Is that something that lingered that you had to go through, or is that just something between the spurts and just the total athletic play?
Yeah, it lingered. It lingered a little bit. I've had my throughout my high school career, I've had like maybe for like a week or two, I've had like a back injury. But it's nothing too serious. My freshman year, I had a bolting disc, so that was kind of a little more severe. But I've tweaked it a few times around high school, but it hasn't held me back too much.
That's great. Just that individual in between, individual growing spurts, and you're getting your muscles and you got testosterone going, and sometimes that just kind of pops up. We have several kids, even a couple of my sophomores that we got to monitor. But nowadays, I feel like you guys just don't get a break. I feel like there was a much bigger break in between seasons and things of that nature. Now everybody's just you're back in the weight room, you're pumping, and that's just kind of over fatigue. But you're at a great place now for it. But your sophomore year, were you on that varsity team?
Yeah, so sophomore year, I was heading into off season, looking to be that starting line, working hard. We got 2 days, and actually the first 2-day practice, I injured my leg real bad. I broke it, so I actually had to sit out the entire regular season, doing rehab, just getting healthy and getting strong. And then I was able to make return for playoffs. So I was able to play in, I believe, 6 of our playoff games into the state championship game, and season ended with a 7-2 loss against Massillon. So that was a tough one for us, but I enjoyed just coming back and being able to start, left tackle and help my team get to that state championship game.
Yeah. And that's phenomenal. You guys went 13-2 overall. I mean, like I said, losing always stings, but Massillon, Washington, and you guys duking it out for the title. That's just that, especially as a sophomore, what kind of atmosphere was that like, going to that stadium and, being in that environment?
Yeah, so that was definitely the biggest game I've ever played in my career up to that point. Held at the Hall of Fame Stadium. Massillon brought out, their whole community. They do a good job of doing that every game. So I think we had probably about 20,000 people at that game. So it was a crazy loud environment. I mean, we had so many false start penalties on the O line, because we just couldn't hear anything. So, but that was definitely a big game for me. I was able to step up and make a lot of big plays when the team needed it. So that game definitely boosted my confidence level a lot of what kind of player I am.
And when the clock strikes 0 and that season ends, kind of take me through that. You had that experience. You went through it. You even rehabbing, getting back to the field, being a part of that championship run. What was the mindset of your junior year going into that?
Yeah, so junior year for me was a big decision. I'm a big basketball player. I was. So I was really deciding if I want to play basketball or not. But I decided to play basketball because I got a love for that too. But going to my junior year was just another chip on my shoulder. Last year, my sophomore year, I wasn't able to play the whole season. Rehab really helped me kind of find myself and find my purpose. Like my why. Like just understand that things can be taken from you so fast. So, really just enjoy what you have in the moment. Don't take anything for granted. So, junior year was something a lot bigger to prove, not only to myself, but to a lot of people who, let's say, like, doubted my abilities. So that was a big year for me that I went out and, handled business.
Yeah, especially going into junior year. You guys went 12-3, another deep playoff run,
Hmm.
and you just really anchoring the line, and actually putting up some statistical, really great statistical stats on the offensive side of the ball. Kind of take me through that, because you guys, I mean, that's a hell of a run.
Yeah. Junior year, we had a really talented team. I missed a lot of those guys. Our class of 2025 was full of a ton of amazing athletes. One of whom is here with Ohio State at me. He's with me at Ohio State, Eli Lee.
Oh,
So yeah, it's been great seeing him. But that was a year where we had all the talent. It was just uh, just didn't work out in our favor.
and that's for the love of the game. Any given Friday, any given Saturday, any given Sunday. You run into that, but you you make another deep run. 12-3. You hit that. You're dueling in basketball a little bit. What's a mentality when you are become the leadership? You're going into your senior season. You
Yeah.
have all that. You have all the experience. You've been to the semifinals. You've been to the finals. You've had those deep runs. Rehab. You're rocking and rolling. What's that like being the senior leadership and a guy that's been around for 3 full seasons on varsity?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed, my senior season, being that, senior captain leader. But I'm more of I'm not much of a vocal leader, more of just you watch me work and then, uh, lead by example. Um, so I kind of took a lot of the younger alignment under my wing and just working out all summer with those guys, showing them what hard work looks like, and trying to do the same for myself, and just becoming a better leader. Not being too much of a hothead or having dumb penalties for myself. So that was a big year for me and my character.
And what do you attest to that? Was there something? Was it coaching? Was it yourself? Was it former leadership? The seniors that kind of set the standard for you on that you
Yeah,
want
it
to
was
hold?
it, it was definitely a mix of coaching and then like former players because I mean you got to make sure that the culture stays the same and you're not you got to be a part of the team. You can't be an individual. So it's mainly just being an example for the younger guys of what the expectation is at Hoban and just living up to that expectation every day.
I'm glad you said that, because we have a lot of young listeners that either go back and watch the replay or chime in, things of that nature. And me as a coach, I even I preach that team mentality. Team mentality. You lose together, you win together,
Hmm.
and accountability, things of those nature. And a lot of that is just kind of drill in their head. And it's great to hear athletes we get on this program and you guys harp on that. And
Hmm.
you know, it's one thing I think. It's like listening to your parents. Sometimes you hear it from your parents, like, oh, then you hear it from somebody your same age or somebody above you in the same system, and you're like, oh, that makes sense now. So when they hear it from you guys, their mind gets blown. They're like, oh, they're right. Look at that. And I'm like, even though we've been kind of telling them, it's always refreshing to hear it from the leadership. That's why we preach to our older guys and even some of our younger guys. Accountability, because hold each other to the standard, and they hear it
Yeah,
from their teammates.
no, that's
Uh,
great.
oh, it's awesome, yeah, and it's awesome to hear you say that as well. And another deep run. You guys a 10-2. You guys make another deep run. You beat Akron East week 4, 52-0.
Yeah.
Kind of tell me what that feels like. Being not only shutting them out with an egg, but kind of everybody playing and hooting and hollering, and what's that feel like?
Yeah, so I love those games where we're able to, get a good lead and get some younger guys in and, um, you know, have them have some varsity experience. But a game like that is you just got to make sure you're playing up to, not playing down to the team you're playing the same game you'd always play. So it's kind of how that game was.
That's awesome. And like I said, the absolute deep run, and it didn't go your way. You guys ran into Walsh there in the semifinals. Do you want to kind of open on that, or I hate talking about losses, but
Yes, that game against Walsh was a tough loss for sure. Um, that was one of those games where it seemed like we couldn't do any right. Even myself, I had a few dumb penalties in that game, and it wasn't my best reflection of myself. But that was definitely a tough loss that just hurt to end my senior season like that.
and I always say both both as a coach, as as a former athlete, nowhere near what you guys were, but as a former athlete and as a Marine, you kind of learn about yourself more during the losses and during the tough times. And as much as fun as it is that you win 52-0 games, the losses is when you self-reflect. It's how you rebound, it's how you get back in the weight room, or you look at the film and you break it down, and even admitting you had a couple things here and there and a hiccup, and that really attests to your character. And that is, again, well done, sir. A great career in your high school. Great things coming for you in the future. And now you're at where you're at. Take me through that recruiting process. Have you always wanted to be a Buckeye, or did it just kind of fall in that way after all the hard work and sweat and tears? Or
Yeah, so growing up in Ohio, you always want to be a Buckeye. Just the home team, rooting for them every weekend. But recruitment for them started early for me. I was able to get an offer from them my freshman year of high school. And then pretty much my whole recruiting process they were like my secret number one. They're always in the back, like, I'm going to go look at these other schools and see what they have to offer. But Ohio State's going to be the tough one to beat.
Oh, absolutely. And, this day and age when technology and things are just so, like, you got Huddle and Tape and X and, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and breaking that all down. Was that a big key for you in recruitment? Because, back in the day, it was somebody came out to the field with a pen and a pad and, big, thick glasses, older gentlemen writing everything down on paper and just kind of maybe talking to you, but more talking to your coaching staff. Was it a visit? When did you start visiting games or going to practices?
Yeah, so my first practice, I visited a spring ball practice my freshman year, and then
Wow.
I can't even count how many times I've been there since. I was at every game, spring ball practices, junior days, all that good stuff.
Take me through that, because you go into the shoe. I know you played for 20,000 people your sophomore year, in a state championship game, but going to the shoe, walking in there, witnessing a game, especially as a visitor on the sideline, what's that like? What's the volume? What's the intensity?
Yeah, so my first college football game was actually in the shoe. Like, that was the first game I had ever experienced. So that was awesome for me. Walking into this huge stadium with like 100,000 fans in it. I couldn't really believe it, and I can't believe that here in we'll call it a few months, I'll be doing that myself, running out.
Absolutely, and we're working with Coach Day and company, and even that the offensive minds there and the coaching staff. What was that like? Was it intimidating, or was it like, wow, this is them, or was there just kind of a moment where it just was, kind of take me through that? I'm sorry.
It's definitely a bit intimidating, just for anything. Like, you want to impress, make a good first impression on everybody. So just trying to, represent yourself the best and, not make too many mental mistakes.
Oh, amen to that. I don't have an experience like that, but, making my drill instructors happy would be about as close as that I could come to that. But, that's amazing. And what, going through that, making an acceptance, was it in front of your high school family and friends, or what was signing day like? I know you
Uh,
graduated early and you've been there, but
yeah, signing day was a lot of fun. We had that. We had, I think, five of my teammates graduated early with me, and we all had the same signing day. So it was a lot of fun to be around my teammates and family for signing day at our school.
that's
Mm,
awesome. I always love going out to those and seeing whether it's my guys or even a couple guys we've interviewed on this program going on.
mm,
It's always a big deal to see the families and their smiling faces of the future.
yeah.
Uh, can't wait to witness more. What so and this just kind of educational just purposes. In between all that, what do you like to do in the off season? Is it always train, or do you have a place or a thing that you like to do to kind of unplug a little bit?
I definitely love hanging out with friends. Fishing. That's probably my big thing is fishing. This past summer, I was able to, with a buddy of mine, we built a fishing boat. So that was a ton of fun. I built that with my grandpa and friend, and kind of stunk though. It on our like second time taking it out, we sunk it. So yeah, didn't work out too well for us, but it was a fun experience.
Sometimes the off the wall stories are the best, whether you get stuck in the
Yeah.
mud or you break down, your car breaks down, but you're with your friends and you kind of make the best
Hmm.
of it. Definitely. And fishing, I always tell kids all the time to because they're so plugged in, and I'm raising a high schooler myself and a middle schooler, and they're only everything is just so fed that I'm like, man, you gotta unplug, you gotta hit a beach, hit a water, hit a road
Yeah.
trip. Let's just because everything I feel like, especially on you athletes, like you hear it when you do good, you hear it when you do bad. Everybody's got an opinion. You make a signing, everybody's got this and that, especially in the world of NIL and all how that works. It's good to get out, just go
I
fishing,
agree.
go with friends.
Mhm.
So it's really refreshing that you do that. And any other hobbies? You got like a favorite holiday or like a favorite movie that you like to watch on a bad day,
Yeah.
Disney
I
or
think
scarier?
my favorite movie's got to be Step Brothers. Uh,
Yeah.
that's just a good one. You get some good laughs, and um, me and my roommate love watching that.
Yes, that is a Marine Corps favorite of mine too. We'd be in the
Yeah.
barracks and
Mm,
just the Will Ferrell in general. I
yeah.
could splice all his stuff together. Man.
Hey, thank you for your service. My father's actually in the Marines.
Oh, tell him
Yeah.
hoorah! Once a
Right.
Marine,
Yeah.
always a Marine.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
That's big, man. That's big. We've had you on for a little over 25 minutes here. I don't want to take too much more of your time. We've gone through your history. You've shared a lot with us, and this next question is kind of we usually ask it when they're up and going, but you're already there. So for the fan base, for the locker room, teammates, things of that nature, what can Buckeye Nation expect from Mr. Greer for the next 3 years, maybe 4 years, but your trajectory in the next 3 years or so, moving forward, sir?
Yeah, I'm just looking to come in every day, work hard, and just earn my respect. Earn some respect every day. Uh, do my best at working hard and making some people proud.
And we can't wait to see it, young man. It's been an absolute honor to have you on the show. And for our younger viewers, I like to get your a little bit of insight of the people because you've done it, you've proven it.
Hmm.
Uh, you're there. For our younger audience, younger players, what's your message to the high school level and the middle school guys that are going through it, either, especially with your story on injury. And, a lot of those guys can really aspire to that as well.
Yeah, I would just recommend to them, give them some advice about taking advantage of every resource they have, every opportunity they get. Um, take advantage of the weight room year round. Uh, if you have resources like recovery room, all that stuff, use it to the most your best of your ability, and I guess just work hard. Yeah.
Work hard, and that's the bread and butter of it, sir. And if there was anything else I missed that you want to circle back on, any last words before we depart this evening?
Go Bucks.
Hey, go Buckeye Nation. That's hell yes, we can say that on this program. Thank you again, Mr. Greer, for coming on. We're looking forward to it. Can't wait to see you guys on week 1 and especially week 2 down in Texas. I'm having that game off, and my birthday falls on the game. So the fact that is home this year against that team up north, which we won't mention that name on this program ever. Can't wait for a kick-ass year, and thank you for coming on, sir. And everybody else has been the Maxon Report. This has been the Coach Maxon, Sam Greer, Ohio State, offensive tackle, going to kick some ass these upcoming years. And you all have a great night.